Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib Abdulmanapovich Nurmagomedov, born in 1988, is a Russian former professional mixed martial artist and the longest-reigning UFC Lightweight Champion. He retired with an undefeated record and is considered one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. Nurmagomedov is also a two-time world champion in combat sambo and has a background in wrestling, judo, and sambo. He was ranked number 1 in the UFC men's pound-for-pound rankings at the time of his retirement. Fight Matrix ranks him as the number 1 lightweight of all time. Forbes ranked him as the number 1 most successful Russian athlete in 2019. Nurmagomedov is also a mixed martial arts trainer and promoter, known for founding Eagles MMA and promoting the Eagle Fighting Championship, UFC. After retirement, he transitioned to being a full-time coach and cornerman before retiring from the sport in January 2023. Early life. Khabib Abdulmanapovich Khabib, born in 1988 in Sildi, Dagestan, was a martial arts enthusiast who began his training at the age of 8 under his father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov, a decorated athlete and veteran of the Soviet Army. In 2001, his family moved to Makhachkala, the capital of Dagestan, where he trained in wrestling from 12 and judo from 15. He resumed training in combat sambo under his father at 17 and was a senior coach for the combat sambo national team in the Republic of Dagestan. Khabib was inspired by American boxers Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and Brazilian footballer Ronaldo Nazario. Khabib's interest in martial arts began when he watched students training at the gym. His father, Abdulmanap, dedicated his life to coaching the youth in Dagestan, training several athletes in sambo in Makhachkala, Russia. Personal life. Khabib, a Sunni Muslim from Dagestan, is the first Muslim to win a UFC title and is the second most popular Muslim athlete in the world. He has been involved in various sports, including football, and has been the most followed Russian on Instagram with over 34 million followers as of December 2022. Khabib is a Sunni Muslim and has advocated for a crackdown on nightclubs in his home region of Dagestan. In 2019, he spoke out against a play in Dagestan that featured a scantily clad woman seducing a man, calling for a governmental investigation into its production. This led to threats on social media from the producer. In 2018, Khabib advocated for a crackdown on nightclubs in his home region and criticized a rap concert held in Makhachkala. In 2019, he spoke out against a play in Dagestan that featured a scene of a scantily clad woman seducing a man, describing it as filth and calling for a public apology. In October 2020, Khabib said of President of France Emmanuel Macron in the wake of the murder of Samuel Paty, saying, "May the Almighty disfigure the face of this creature and all its followers, who, under the slogan of freedom of speech, offend the feelings of more than 1.5 billion Muslim believers. May the Almighty humiliate them in this life and in the next." Khabib has trained with several organizations, including SC Bazarganova, K-Dojo, AMA Fight Club, Mamyshev Fight Team, Fight Spirit Team, and KHK MMA Team. He co-founded Eagles MMA in 2016, with support from Dagestani billionaire Ziauddin Magomedov. After Magomedov was arrested on charges of embezzlement in 2018, Khabib used his post-fight speech at UFC 223 to appeal to Russian President Vladimir Putin for Magomedov's release from jail. Khabib and his father, Abdulmanap, were awarded the Order for Services to the Republic of Dagestan in December 2019. He has 3 children, including a son named Magomed, named after Khabib's great-grandfather. Sports career. Khabib made his professional MMA debut in September 2008 and went undefeated for 3 years. He became the inaugural Atrium Cup tournament champion in October and went undefeated for 3 more years, including a first-round armbar finish of future Bellator title challenger Shabulat Shamaliyev. His 16-0 record in regional circuits of Russia and Ukraine attracted interest from the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, in signing him. However, Khabib's father revealed that due to a contract dispute with Pro FC, they had 11 court cases contesting the legitimacy of Khabib's UFC contract. After losing 6 and winning 5 cases, they reached an agreement, allowing Nurmagomedov to continue his career. In late 2011, Khabib signed a 6-fight deal to compete in the UFC's lightweight division. In his UFC debut, he defeated Kamal Shalaris via submission in the 3rd round. He then faced Gleison Tibau on July 7, 2012, and Thiago Tavares on January 19, 2013. Khabib won via KO in the 1st round but was given a 9-month suspension after testing positive for drostanolone. He defeated Abel Trujillo on May 25, 2013, and set a new UFC record for the most takedowns in a single fight. In his 5th UFC fight, Khabib faced Pat Healy, who dominated the fight and won via unanimous decision. UFC President Dana White praised the relative newcomer, stating that he would take them both at once in the cage. Khabib was briefly linked to a bout with Donald Cerrone on September 27, 2014, but the pairing was scrapped due to a knee injury. He was later expected to face Tony Ferguson on December 11, 2015, but pulled out due to another injury. The bout with Ferguson was rescheduled for April 16, 2016, but was replaced by Daryl Horcher at a catch weight of 160 pounds. In September, Khabib signed 2 contracts for a title shot against Eddie Alvarez, but the UFC announced that Alvarez would instead be defending the title against Conor McGregor. Khabib voiced his displeasure on social media, calling Alvarez a bullshit champ for refusing the fight and opting for a bout with McGregor instead. In lieu of a title shot, Khabib faced Michael Johnson on November 12, 2016, and won via submission in the 3rd round. The bout with Ferguson was scheduled for a 3rd time at UFC 209 on March 4, 2017, but Nurmagomedov fell ill due to a botched weight cut, and the bout was cancelled. Finally, Khabib faced Edson Barboza on December 30, 2017, and won the fight by unanimous decision, earning him his first performance of the night bonus. In the UFC Lightweight Championship, Khabib faced Tony Ferguson for the 4th time in a row, but his fight was postponed due to injury. Max Holloway was replaced by Al Iaquinta, who is also weighing 0.2 pounds over the championship weight limit. Khabib dominated the fight and became the UFC Lightweight Champion. On August 3, 2018, the UFC announced that Khabib would defend his lightweight title against Conor McGregor at UFC 229. Khabib won the first 2 rounds but lost the 3rd round to McGregor, marking the first time Khabib lost a round in his UFC career. He managed to defeat McGregor in the 4th round via submission. After the bout, Khabib scaled the octagon and tried to attack McGregor's teammate Dillon Danis, leading to a brawl between the 2 teams. In October 2018, Khabib jumped over the octagon fence and charged at McGregor's cornerman, Dillon Danis. McGregor and Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Khabib's cousin, attempted to exit the octagon, but a scuffle broke out after McGregor punched Abubakar, who then punched him back. McGregor was then attacked from behind inside the octagon by 2 of Nurmagomedov's cornermen, Zabera Tukagov and Esad Amiragiv. Tukagov was removed from the card on October 17. Khabib's payment for the fight was withheld by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, NSAC, as a result, pending an investigation into his actions. He later apologized to the NSAC, saying he was provoked by McGregor's trash talk and the UFC 223 bus incident. The NSAC filed a formal complaint against both Khabib and McGregor, and on October 24th, the NSAC approved a motion to release half of Khabib's $2 million fight payout immediately. Both Khabib and McGregor received indefinite bans until an official hearing determined the disciplinary outcome of the post-fight brawl. In June 2019, Khabib signed a new multi-fight contract with the UFC. In the first fight of his new deal, he made the second defense of his title against interim lightweight champion Dustin Poirier on September 7, 2019. He won the fight via a rear naked choke submission in the 3rd round, unified both titles, and earned him his second performance of the Night Bonus Award. He and Poirier swapped shirts after the fight as a show of respect. Khabib faced Tony Ferguson on April 18, 2020 at UFC 249. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Khabib was unable to leave Russia, and he was removed from the card. Ferguson faced top contender Justin Gaethje for the interim UFC Lightweight Championship at UFC 249, which was postponed to May 9th. Gaethje won the fight by 5th round TKO ending Ferguson's win streak and securing himself a shot at the undisputed title against Khabib. Khabib faced Ghazi in a unification bout on October 24, 2020 in the main event at UFC 254. Khabib won the fight via technical submission with a triangle choke in the second round to defend and reunify the UFC Lightweight Championship. In his post-fight interview, Khabib announced his retirement from mixed martial arts, explaining that he had promised his mother that he would not continue to fight without his late father. UFC President Dana White announced on March 19, 2021 that he had accepted Khabib's decision to retire and officially vacated the UFC Lightweight Championship. Khabib was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame on July 1, 2022. After retiring, he purchased the Russian-based Guerrilla Fighting Championship, GFC, for $1 million and renamed it the Eagle Fighting Championship, UFC. Khabib became an active coach with American Kickboxing Academy head coach Javier Mendez and coached and cornered several fighters, including current UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev, UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad, Zabera Tukagov, Tager Ulambikov, Godzi Rabadanov, Islam Mamdov, Sajid Isaac Akhmeev, and his cousins Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Umar Nurmagomedov, and current Bellator lightweight champion Usman Nurmagomedov. In January 2023, Khabib retired from MMA, including coaching and cornering fighters, to focus on his family. Despite his retirement, Khabib briefly returned as a cornerman for Makhachev's third title defense against Dustin Poirier at UFC 302 and for Umar Nurmagomedov, who headlined the main event against Corey Sandhagen at UFC on ABC 7. Fighting style. Khabib employed a wrestling-based style of relentless pressure against his opponents, often described as mauling. Using a variety of wrestling and judo/sambo takedowns, he forced his opponents against the cage and locked up their legs and an arm to prevent them from escaping. From this position, he exhausted his opponents by forcing his weight against them and attacked with measured strikes his opponents were often unable to defend. This was one of the many signature styles that he used to deploy to advance towards his finishing move. Throughout his career, 19 of his 29 victories had come by way of either TKO/KO or submission. Former three-time UFC heavyweight champion and two-time UFC light heavyweight champion Randy Couture praised Nurmagomedov as brilliant. MMA commentator Joe Rogan, a black belt in both 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, said of Nurmagomedov, "He's the most terrifying lightweight contender in the world, and he's just on such another level that the odds of beating him drop significantly after the first minute and a half." UFC referee Herb Dean stated Nurmagomedov constantly talked to his opponents during fights. And that brings us to the end of the incredible journey of Khabib Nurmagomedov, from his early days in Dagestan to becoming an undefeated UFC champion and a global icon. His dedication, discipline, and unbreakable willpower have cemented his place in sports history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Khabib's life, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Who is Who for more inspiring biographies of world-changing individuals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.